Snowbirds, welcome to my live call tonight. And it comes with a statement that you will never win at this. And what am I talking about? Stick around if you can. For those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck for $200, and since that time, the last 27 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. If that interests you, keep listening. Today's been a busy day, but I said, I've got to share some things. And a lot of times where I come up with some of this material, it just comes from things I experience. That's the only way I know how to share it. So I'm not going to deal with theory or be philosophical, okay? I mean, there's people out there that do these calls and they've never built a team. They write books and they've never built a business in network marketing. That was generally, I mean, years ago we used to joke about that. People say, well, if I can't make it in network marketing, I'll write books about it. But anyway, I'm going to share with you just things that I learned. And I'm fine with that tornado. That was that's Nashville, that's central Tennessee. So we're in East Tennessee. We're up in the mountains. So tornadoes we get windstorms though, really strong windstorms. They can be violent, but we never get tornadoes yet anyway. But appreciate you guys asking about that. Gary in Denver, nice to see you. So when I talk about you will never win at this, it's something that people try to win at. And I think the sooner we learn that we're not going to win at it, we'll quit trying to win at it, right? We'll quit trying to win. So what I've learned is that if you're going to be a success in network marketing, if you're going to earn significant money, if you're really going to make this a career, just understand you're going to go through different phases. You're going to go through different phases in this journey. And if you stick with it, if you endure it, if you understand it for what it is, it won't bother you so much. Matter of fact, you might remember this live call tonight and say, I remember when Jeff brought that up. So when we talk about different phases that we're going to go through, I sort of put them in this category. The first one is the impossible phase. And the second one is the imposter leader phase, the imposter leader phase. And the third is the unstoppable leader phase. It's those three phases that if we're going to make network marketing a career, we're going to go through these things. So let's just begin with the first one, the impossible phase. Now, that's not to suggest that you can't become a success in network marketing, that it's impossible. I'm not even suggesting that. I'm suggesting that it's going to be suggested to you by a lot of people that you can't. And you won't. Because you know what? You came from our street, buddy. I mean, you ate at my mother's table. You're one of us. So the thing about it is, what's going to happen is that many of us work very hard to seek acceptance, right? Seek acceptance. We did that in high school, hanged out with you guys, hanged out with the boys, played ball with them, whatever. You girls, just did what you did, just had sleepovers at your house, and you had your little girly parties and all that. We always seek acceptance. We want other people to accept us. That's just a human need that we have. It's one of the 6 human needs that Tony Robbins talks about. So that's very important, that we seek acceptance. And when we do that because we want to feel safe. We want to feel safe. And so that works for a while, and that will, it'll get you so far. And then all of a sudden you're going to hear this voice crying out inside you, I'm important too. I want you to pay attention to me. You're trying to seek their acceptance. I want you to pay attention to me. Because what they're seeking is not what I'm seeking. What they want is not what I want. I want something greater. I got bigger dreams, greater goals. It's okay that they are the way they are, if that's what they want. But I'm not going to give up. This is what I feel inside. So you got that voice that's going to cry out. Now you can ignore it for a while. You can have some beers. Don't listen to it. Okay? Next day, wake up. There it is again. You get introduced to network marketing, and then you see all the possibilities that will serve that voice inside you. Matter of fact, that voice is shouting out, that's me, that's me. And it's not about your company, and it's not about your product. It's about what your opportunity will deliver to you. Whether that's time freedom or, that you'll have, or financial goals that you have, things like that, things that you want to do with your life, whatever that is. But that voice immediately, it's like it has eyes, it sees it. And when you got introduced to network marketing, it resonated. It was sort of like an instrument, I've got guitars over there on the stage. Well, guess what? They're not making any sound, are they? But as soon as a hand strums those strings, now you have sound, now you have chord, now you have music. And that's the way it is. That voice is like that instrument. When it's exposed to what network marketing will deliver, then it's like that voice just comes alive. So the thing is, and I can relate to that, because like when I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got out of high school. Did you know? I knew that college was coming up. That was next, right? As a matter of fact, I went to college for 6 months. And I was like, this is not me. I was learning calculus, trigonometry. I could write formulas out. I could do that stuff. I was always asking myself, how does that serve me in the future? How do I use that later in my life? It was confusing to me. All I knew was I wasn't the kind of person that wanted to just get a degree and then go out and beg somebody for a job. That was not me. Now, nothing wrong about education. I would never tell anybody, if that's their desire, go for it. If everybody was like me, you wouldn't have surgeons. If everybody was like me, nobody would have gone to the moon. So they have their place, and I'm saying, if that's you, go for it. That was not me. I was an entrepreneur. I just wanted to wake up every day and own my life. And that's what that voice was telling inside me. And that's what that voice is inside telling you. That I want to be an entrepreneur. It's interesting. Tony Robbins said it in our recent meeting we had, that statistically, those people that go out and get these degrees, that get this education, only 25% of them ever use it. Only 25%. Well, I didn't have to go get a degree to know that was not what I wanted. What I wanted was, I wanted to wake up every day, own my life, go out and just travel and do things and play music and write songs and do whatever I want to do. But I knew I couldn't do that if I had a job that always owned me until the day I retired and I only had a few years left to live. That just was not a pretty picture to me. And so the thing about it is, when you get to that point, and you know that, and you find this, and then you want to share to your friends what the voice inside is telling you. You want to share that to them. They're like, no, I don't want to hear that voice. I want that other person, that other person, that's the person who I want to talk to. And it's like you can't get it across, and you can't get the support. And if anything, they're going to quiet the voice. They're going to say, oh, I've heard of people that got in those things and they lost houses and cars, or they were financially destroyed somehow. All right, isn't that one of those pyramid things? So you're going to have that. You're going to get that from people. And they're going to try to just basically, and they have good intentions. They have good intentions. It's not that they're bad people. They're not bad people. They're just not your people. And you just didn't realize that until you finally saw that reaction, how they felt about your dreams, that voice that's inside you, that's coming out. They're like, no, wait, I'm not used to this person. Who are you? So here's the thing. What we have to understand is that we will never achieve happiness until we listen to that voice and we take action and do something about it. That's the thing that we have to realize. As long as we're going to listen to the voices of others, you're never going to be happy. You're going to live someone else's life, and you're going to get at the end of your life and you're not going to like it. And that's not the life you want. So don't let them suppress that. Remember this, that when you decide to take action by listening to that voice, you're going to become unpopular with a lot of the people you cared about that, are your friends. So it's up to you. You have to make that choice. Some people just sort of hold back in network marketing because they want it both ways, but it won't work that way. It won't work that way. I mean, you're talking a language that they don't want to hear, and you got to decide who basically your friends are going to be. Remember what Jim Rohn said? Jim Rohn said you'll be the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. You don't want to be average, and that's not you. So to do that, you have to change your influencers, whether that's people that you personally associate with, or if it's just listening to audio programs like Tony Robbins, right? You get a strong dose of Tony, it's hard to be negative. So the thing is, you're going to have to decide what's going to influence you. And then you're going to have to decide when that voice comes out, and you got to make that stand, can you handle it? Just, here's one thing I want you to remember. You can carve this in stone if you want to. And that is, you will never be respected by people who envy your success. I mean, even if you go out there and you do it big, right? You're never going to be respected by people who envy your success because you didn't stay average. So that's the thing. So, and then here's the other thing too. And I see people, they work very hard to gain their approval. They come in network marketing, but they still try to gain their approval. You're never going to do it. You will never win at this. That's why I chose the theme for this. You'll never win at this. If you're always seeking their approval, forget it. If you're seeking greatness, you cannot seek their approval. If you want more, you cannot seek their approval. If you want to live out your full potential, discover things about yourself you never knew, you'll never win at this if you try to seek their acceptance. They'll never accept that person. So the thing is, then just get that straight in your head, and then move on and have fun. In other words, you're going to have to get a new circle of friends. So this first phase that I was talking about, let's hit the high points on it, is pay attention to that voice that's inside you. Don't worry about what other people think, and quit trying to seek their approval. That's what you have to do. Now, the second stage is the imposter leader. Now you've worked hard. You've got a business going. You've got a team growing very well. And so now, I mean, you're doing presentations, you're doing meetings, you're doing whatever you do, Zoom calls, sometimes sleepless nights, working projects, helping others. And you're doing all those things. And then later on, you hear, from your team leaders, you're hearing certain gossip or rumors that you just got lucky. That was the reason for your success. You're the imposter leader. You just got lucky. Someone recruited someone who recruited someone who recruited someone, and then that person took off and built a big team. You just got lucky. Okay, so first of all, what we need to understand is that there's not a compensation plan out there that will pay you on one leg. Wouldn't we agree on that? One team. If that's all you got is one team, you're not going to make much money, because you're not going to capture most of that volume in that leg to get paid on it. So how in the world could you be lucky if you had one person took off that did the majority? Did a lot of business down there. Let's face it, to get paid, and most compensation plans will require maybe, let's just say 3 drivers, 3 teams driving, or maybe a 4th, maybe a 5th, who knows, I don't know. But let's just say it was 3, okay? Well, then you're going to have to get lucky again and again, aren't you? So never buy into the concept or their thinking that you got lucky. You didn't get lucky. You know what you did? You showed up. This is about showing up. It's called network marketing. Network marketing. You showed up and you did the work. You showed up every day and did the work. If I believed in luck, and I don't, but let's say if I did, then, if you keep showing up, I guess you will get lucky. In other words, you're going to find somebody. You're going to find a driver, an incredible driver. And if you stay with this long enough, you just show up every day, doing this boring crap that we do. It's called monotony. Monotony is doing the same things over and over again. Nothing spectacular about it, okay? That's called monotony, and that's what we do. Nothing fancy, nothing glamorous. It's all about prospecting people, seeing who's open, sponsoring people, helping people. That's what we do. And then, when you do that enough, somebody will say you were lucky. No, you weren't lucky. You showed up. Why don't they show up? They're not successful. Why are they not showing up? That is the question, isn't it? Because they don't show up. That's right. But they throw rocks at people that do. So that's the thing. So keep showing up. That's how you make it in network marketing. You find one good driver, great driver, good. It's good. You find another driver, great. Later on, then you'll find another. But they don't all show up at once. I wish they did. I really wish they did. It would make our job a lot easier, wouldn't it? But it's still a great thing, because once it happens, even though maybe it took longer than we thought it should, then they arrive just because you show up and you find somebody, you work with somebody, you run with somebody. You're not the imposter leader. You're a leader. You earned it. It was by intention. It was by design. You've heard me talk about this girl that is with us from China. Here's another example. I'm 21 years into my company and meet somebody at an event and then introduce them to something, to what I'm doing. And she says, I can't go back to China. I'd like to learn about this. And from my house in 2 weeks, she's got 165 people in her group. Over 20,000, points. Incredible. In 2 weeks. But I can tell you, she doesn't take breaks. She doesn't even have much time to chit chat with me. Every time I talk to her, it's like, hey, I got to go back to work. Yeah, you want to go out to dinner in town? No. I'd like to, but I got to go to work because I got to break your records. You want to go to a movie? No. Like to, but I got to work. See, that was the same thing I was saying 21 years ago when I first started my first 90 days. I didn't spend time going out doing anything. I didn't. I just worked. Why? Because I understood that I had to establish something quickly. I had to create speed. I had to be an example. And so, I'm just saying, drivers come at different times of your life. As long as you show up. As long as you show up and as long as you're willing to talk to people about what you do. And don't let social media make you unsocial, okay? That does that with a lot of people. They just get it down to messaging. They don't even know how to talk to people or pick up a phone and have a conversation. I'm telling you, if I was that way, I would not have been able to talk to this girl about this. I would not. So you need to always keep that. That has got to be one of your great strengths, is always showing up. And you teach your leaders how to show up. Now, the third phase, the unstoppable leader, what is that? That's when you've grown to a point. I mean, you're basically, you're set in terms of you built it the way your company wanted you to build it. You met all the requirements in the compensation plan. You're solid. You're solid. So now what do? The unstoppable leader has a choice. He can retire, or she can retire, or she can still show up. I recommend that you keep showing up. It's a big mistake, and I've seen this with people in my team when they get to a certain income and then they experience success coma. They don't show up anymore. They miss convention. They miss important meetings. They're not even posting on their Facebook page or their Instagram. They're not even on the radar. So their people around the world can't even see, what's happening with this person now. They have no idea. They just have to assume, well, I guess he quit. He retired. That's what he did. He retired. Well, when you retire, what do they want to do? Retire. And the problem is that becomes, that's duplicated all the way into the downline. What happens is then you notice your volume is dropping. Maybe your rank is being threatened. They've gone back in rank. So what should you do? Well, that's why I said don't retire. This whole concept of build it once and then go do what you ever want to do the rest of your life, well, that's a nice fairy tale. It's a nice fairy tale. I say that, you can still be part-time. I'm part-time in this business. I'm still part-time after all these years, but I show up at different times. And so that means I can post something on my Facebook page, definitely show up at convention, show up at special events, do a Facebook Live call. People from around the world see, there's Jeff again. He's showing up. He's showing up. Well, and again, these leaders all around the world looking at me, and what does that do to them? What does it teach them? It teaches them that they need to show up. Stay in the game. That's what you do. You stay in the game. There is no retirement. Anybody who taught you that you can do it. Save your money. You're going to need it. Okay? But I'm just saying, I don't recommend it. You could still be part-time and still just put out posts, connect with people, be available. Be available. And that means if one of your leaders needs you, then that's it. You need to support that leader because that's where your income comes from. Be the unstoppable leader, that you're not going to stop. So those are the three phases I thought I would share tonight. Again, I hope you, and again, You can never win at this. What was that about? That you got to listen to that voice. Quit trying to please people. They're never going to respect your success. So stop seeking respect. Stop seeking their approval. And then, be the leader the imposter leader, that you're not, just understand you're not an imposter. You are the leader. It was by intention and design that you got there. You're going to hear hecklers in your upline, downline say you got lucky. Don't listen to it. You know who you are and you know your value. And then be the unstoppable leader that you never quit. You always show up. So I hope that was helpful. Now I'm going to make some calls, get on a few Zooms. That's right. There's people on the other side of the world I got to talk to. Anyway, but I appreciate all of you guys getting on this call. If you just got on now, catch the replay. And you can share this on your page if you want. Also, my book, Reaching the Peak, that's the backward version of it. Reaching the Peak is on Amazon. If you haven't got it, you can get that. And that's my 40-year journey in that book. Hey, Eden, nice to see you. Catch the replay. Good to see you. I wish all of you a very lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.